This is a piece of the desert. We have a little piece of it in our room because there's so many stories in the Bible that share the desert. The desert is always changing and shifting. It's never the same place twice. It's always moving. The mountains are always blowing down into the valleys, and the valleys always blowing into the mountains. It's easy to lose your way in the desert because things don't ever quite look the same. By day, the sun beats down and burns your skin, but at night, it's freezing cold. The rains seldom fall in the desert, and so crops do not grow. There's not much food. The descendants of Abraham grew, and the people of God found themselves living in a part of the desert where the crops did not grow. And so there was no food, and there was no water for them to drink. At night, the children would cry in their sleep. And so the parents decided they must go somewhere that they would find food. And so they set off on a journey across the desert for Egypt. It took a very long time. They finally arrived in Egypt, and there they did find food. But in that land, there was a king called Pharaoh, and the Pharaoh trapped the people of God. They had to do everything the Pharaoh told them to do. They could only eat when the Pharaoh allowed them to eat. They could only drink when the Pharaoh allowed them to drink. And they had to do everything the Pharaoh said to do. But then there was one among them named Moses, who came forth and said to Pharaoh, "Let my people go." And Pharaoh said, "No." Time and time again, Moses kept coming back and saying to Pharaoh, "Let my people go." And Pharaoh would say, "No." And then something strange happened. Strange things began to happen, and Moses once again went before Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go." And Pharaoh said, "No." But then something very sad. The firstborn son in all of the families of Egypt died, except for those among the people of God, for they had marked their doors with the blood of a lamb, so that the angel of death passed over them when it came close. Now even the firstborn son of the Pharaoh died. And this time, when Moses came before Pharaoh and said, "Let my people go," this time Pharaoh said, "Yes." Moses hurried back to the people and told them to get ready to leave. They had to pack very quickly and be ready. Those that prepared the bread didn't even have time for it to rise. And so they prepared the matzo, which is not like the bread that we might eat today, but it's flat, and it might even taste like this story, taste like the desert. Well, the people began to be ready to go on this journey, and they set on their way. They were worried that Pharaoh might change his mind, and they would look behind to see if they were coming, if the soldiers were coming close. Finally, the people were pushed right up against the sea. And with the sea on one edge, they could look behind and see Pharaoh's army was coming, for Pharaoh had changed his mind. Now, they weren't sure what to do, but Moses stepped forward. And Moses came so close to God, and God came so close to Moses that somehow Moses knew what God wanted him to do. Moses touched his shepherd's staff to the water, and the water opened up and exposed the dry land, and the people of God could walk through where the water had once been. They must have been surprised or afraid. So many emotions. And when all the people of God were safe on the other side of the water, but before Pharaoh's army could reach them, the waters closed once again, so that the people of God were safe. They were so overjoyed that Miriam, Moses' sister, led the dancing with song and tambourine. I wonder What is your favorite part of this story? I wonder, what is the most important part of this story? I wonder, where are you in this story? And I wonder what we could leave out and still have all that we need.
O God, whose wonderful deeds of old shine forth even to our own day, by the power of your mighty arm, you once delivered your chosen people from slavery under Pharaoh, a sign for us, the salvation offered to everyone by the water of baptism. Grant that all peoples of the earth may partake in the salvation of the Israelites, and together dance on the safe side of the sea, through Jesus Christ, our Savior and Lord. Amen.